it. Yeah. And then we're going to come to here, setting up. Hello, hello, hello. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? So this is where we're at now, and we're going to, yes. Okay, hello. Yes, Wendy Corner, hone your speaker skills. This week's episode that was due to go out on Facebook Live yesterday, and we didn't quite make it. I've been having some technical stuff in the background, but today we're talking about reading aloud. I'm working with a group of authors because I'm personally part of a multi-author book, The Awakened Feminine, which was published on the 23rd of January in its Kindle form. And now we're having our physical book launch this coming weekend here in Perth. 6 of the authors are based in Perth, and I've been working with them in terms of coaching for reading aloud. It's not simply a case of picking up a book and reading it. You're there to make the words come alive. When you do a chapter reading, you are there to bring the words to life from the page to the stage, if you will. So what's involved? Well, when I've been working with the ladies this week, they've started off by reading what they thought was quite sensibly, and I'll read from my chapter. So it started off a bit like this. This really is the first day of the rest of my life. Those 12 words are pregnant with emotion, yet I felt nothing. Exactly. I'm not feeling anything either by the way you're reading it. So what I've suggested is we need to have the book up and to one side, because if you have it down here, I've got a good view of the top of your head, or rather you've got a good view of the top of mine. Now, what I want to do is I want to engage with you. If I'm in the audience, I want to engage with you, and I want to really hear and feel the emotion of the words you're saying. Because, yeah, I've got the book, I can read it, but I also want to hear and connect with you as the author. So let me try that bit again. This really is the first day of the rest of my life. Those 12 words are pregnant with emotion. Yet I felt nothing. My story is about feeling all the feels and acknowledging them. And then I go on. Can you see immediately it's changed the dynamic completely? We're not reading down here, we're reading up here, and we're engaging eye contact with those in the audience. Now, this week, for our book launch, we have it for friends and family. So the people in the room are going to be known people who are going to be there to support us and, championing us while we're going along. However, there will be occasions when you do a book reading from your book, be it multi-author or solo, when you don't know everybody in the room. It could be that you're at a big author's reading, and there's a big room involved. It may even be a theatre, an auditorium. I don't know. It could also be simply a web reading, like now. If you're on a web, it's easy enough. You are engaging eye contact with the camera, and therefore you are looking at everybody involved. If you have people in the room, engage eye contact with specific people. And if you're in a very large room where you have a lecture theatre, a tiered auditorium even, and this goes when you're speaking or if you're reading, imagine the eye contact you're going to gain with people at the back of the room as well. They need to know that you're talking to them. You are reading to them. So this is why it's really important to think about what you're going to say. With a 3,000 word chapter, you've roughly got about 20 minutes talk time in there. You're unlikely to have 20 minutes worth of reading time in front of an audience. TED head office say that their maximum is 18 minutes because statistically, any more than 18 minutes and you lose the audience's attention. I would say you probably lose it a lot quicker than that, to be honest, unless you are a very engaging speaker and reader. So this is where you think about, okay, how can I engage the audience? What can I do with the speed? What can I do with the volume? How can I lean in, go quiet? The conspiratorial, secretive bits. Because I can guarantee you, if you do that, the audience will do exactly the same. They'll lean in. One of the speakers here in Perth has a particularly angry bit that she's reading out. And when we got in, to start with, she was reading pretty much as I started off, but very quickly she engaged the energy and you could see it literally rising up in her. And this angry bit, she was shouting out those words. And I said, hang on, calm down. The audience doesn't want to be shouted at. You can still engage with that angry feeling, but without the volume. You can have such clearly, crisply enunciated words with almost venom that you spit out, but you can still get that sense of the anger without the volume that people go, oh, and you lose people from there. So there are different ways of doing this, but when you are reading from your book on stage, inhabit the energy. Look at the words. What can you do to slow things down for emphasis? When you're talking about a passage that has lots going on, you're going to be speeding it up. You're going to be rehearsing. It is no good simply to turn up on the day, pick up the book and read. You are required to rehearse. You are required to look at your words. How are you going to bring the best out of it? How are you going to embody the energy of your words? Because don't forget, your words do have power. The people in the room, they've got the book, or they can jolly well read it for themselves. What they're after is getting your energy behind it. Because what you're doing in your reading is giving them a flavour, a taster of what it took you to write it. Give them that soupçon, that appetizer that will encourage them. They compel them to read the full thing. And hear your voice in the background. Hear your voice as they're reading it. It won't simply be your voice as they're reading it. They will be carrying you into the reading of your words. So have you written a book? If you haven't, we have the opportunity for joining us in our mad book, Making a Difference. I will pop the information in the show notes attached to this live. Let's talk. Let's get you as an author from page to stage. For now, from me.